This program is a paid commercial announcement and in no way represents the views of WPHT or its management.
Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3 Philadelphia. Now, Health Watch, featuring Dr. Molly FANTASIA, the PhD doctor and founder of Innovative Medical Associates, with valuable information that could help you improve your quality of life. Now, Health Watch, and your host, John DEMASI.
Good morning. Welcome to the show. As always, a pleasure to have you with us here on today's edition of Health Watch. Heard every Sunday, the live version, 8 till 9. You're on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. As always, good to have you with us. And we're going to be talking about, well, the show is called Health Watch. It's about health, about you and your family and helping you improve your overall quality of life. And as you heard the man say, we do that with Dr. Molly FANTASIA, who is the PhD doctor and the executive director and the founder of Innovative Medical Associates, Marlton, New Jersey. As we always say at the beginning of the show, our mission statement is we go over the who, what, when, where, why, and how.
That's it, John.
of Innovative Medical Associates with Dr. Molly. And as always, if you have a question, 855-839-1210. 855-839-1210. It happened again last week. Dr. Molly calls at the end of the show, so we always tell you, call early so we can get you in and get your question answered. 855-839-1210 is our number here in the studio. And Innovative Medical Associates does what,
Well,
Dr. Molly?
Innovative Medical Associates is a collaboration of healthcare providers who actually operate out of our facility. And, I like to say the buck stops with me.
That's right.
And so what we do is we can do anything primary care can do, and maybe a little more, actually, than most primary care.
I know you do.
So, but our main focus is on, instead of utilizing new pharmaceuticals, we like to utilize nutraceuticals. And the manner in which we deliver these nutraceuticals, of course, is through hydration. And hydration in and of itself, is a medical modality, right?
Right.
Everybody's watched the game the other day. Hey,
right.
Temple's back, my alma mater.
That's right.
So one of the things I like to say is, look, we know that when you need medication, we want you on your medication. If you need surgery, we want you to get the surgery. If you need someone to help coordinate some of your care with specialists, we're going to do all that. But again, the thing that improves your quality of life while going through whatever kind of medical challenge you have is the utilization of the nutraceuticals by hydration.
I will mention, and we've talked about my latest challenge, which is the back issue.
Sure.
And part of your job is you're reading reports. I'm wondering if you sleep, because the other day you told me, well, I read your MRI.
Actually, we got it ahead of your doctor who ordered it,
right?
Yeah.
But you were talking about that. And I noticed the other day, like after my hydration treatment, like the back felt much better.
Yes, because I was able to really hone in on where the pain was actually coming from.
Yes.
And so then I was able to really look at some homeopathics that work directly in that area. And that's what we were trying to do for you, John. And that's probably what we do for everybody.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So it isn't that I play favorites for you, although you are one of my favorite patients because you've been with me a long time, my friend.
Well,
a long time.
The patient sitting next to me the other day said, how long have you been coming here? This is always funny because I say 20 years and they back up and they go, what? I said 20 years. Oh. Okay.
Yeah, and you know what's so funny? Somebody said to me, "Doesn't John ever get better?" I said, "Yes, he does. That's the whole point. He wants to stay better or best.
Right, yes.
So that's the whole point. We want you to be able to live your best life now, and the way we're able to do that is to deliver the nutraceuticals, which means the natural substances, whether they're vitamins, amino acids, other things. You name it, we use it, and I can tell you that we use it appropriately."
And I do get better from one challenge, but then a new challenge comes on, right?
Well, so you know what? Hey, listen, you and I are like historic cars.
Yes.
Right? We've been around a long time, but we continue to have our shine.
That's right.
Our body work looks pretty good for our age. And, what we have to do every once in a while is tune up the motor.
Yeah. And I am pretty healthy overall.
You definitely
So I mean, just for the record, so people don't think I'm always sick.
No. Now, actually, I think what we've done is we've managed to help you a lot this year through things like the flu, et cetera.
Exactly. 855-839-1210. Again, the number here in the studio. Health Watch is the show Saturdays or Sunday, I'm sorry, 8 till 9 here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Again, 855-839-1210. The hydration, and again, I guess a lot of times when I'm in your chair, it's maintenance. It's to keep you maintaining that reserve that you talk about, right?
Right. In your case, we're not really doing anything but maintaining your reserve. And when you come in with a particular challenge, then I really hone in on that particular challenge for you. When a new patient gets into the chair, obviously we take what is causing the issue for the patient, and then we appropriately develop the IV treatment program that will work for that patient.
There are all kinds of challenges that are presented to you in the course of a day and a week and a month.
Oh, my goodness, yes.
And I guess the question is, because people call you when they listen to the show, and they'll say, well, I have this and that, and they're not sure if that can help them. So can you tell us about some of the things that you've helped people with?
Well, absolutely. I think I've cut my teeth on EDTA therapy, which is chelation therapy for the cardiac. We've done a lot in terms of diabetes and blood flow to the extremities. I can go on and on. Cancer, of course, is a big issue, and autoimmune diseases. And I will tell you that the autoimmune diseases, people really suffer from some of the biologics that they're taking for some of these rheumatoid conditions, and we're able to augment that so that they have less side effect. So really, you name it, we've treated it. Obviously, we've also helped people coordinate some of their other care should they need it, because we have people come into us with all kinds of challenges, which we'll talk about this after this segment.
Yeah, I was going to talk to you about, I noticed like a lot of my friends are always saying, well, I got a little bit of a cold, I got a little bit of a sore throat.
You know what to do.
Yeah, I know what to do, and I tell them that, but of course, do they listen?
No, well, listen, here's the thing. I hear this all the time. And, John, I think one of the things that we're remiss in is that people think that this is only for the rich and famous, this kind of stuff, because now they're hearing it that the Hollywood stars and the sports guys are doing this and high-end individuals. No, that isn't true. If done appropriately, I believe that our fees are commensurate to, actually are better than the service that we give people. And I think if people would chat a little bit with me, they will know that this is something you should build into your budget.
Yeah, because, and I've often said this, that, I don't seem to get colds, or maybe I get one once in a while.
I tell you, it's an interesting thing. One of my patients told me that his particular medication that he was supposed to take for the condition he had ran $3,000 a month.
Wow.
I was half of that. And now he's not on the medication.
Right.
And now he said, I'm never leaving you. Right?
Yeah.
Because he doesn't want to go back, because he said the next set of drugs that they want to put him on is even more than $3,000 a month. So these are the things. You got to think about this. Plus, you don't need the side effects of those drugs.
No, you don't. And I remember the last drug that one of my doctors,
goodness.
Remember that one?
Oh, my goodness. All these new injectables that are coming out, these designer drugs, people read the side effects. Now, if you need them, we're going to say, go ahead. After all, my docs are traditionally trained physicians.
Yes.
But guess what? Sometimes, just sometimes, we can get you off of them.
It's funny because I'm so conditioned working with you all these years that the doctor prescribed this drug that you had talked about. And I said, well, I'm going to tell Dr. Molly, and she's going to say, no, absolutely not. Wait, if you take that, you're going to be in La La Land.
Right.
So,
particularly at that dose.
Yeah, and it was like a mega dose.
And it wasn't just Dr. Molly in that case. I remember Dr. Pat going, oh, my God, and she's an anesthesiologist. It was like, whew, she really wants to solve your problem, maybe give you a new one.
Talk about if people come into your facility and they decide to go with your program, what can they expect? Can they go 6 weeks, 2 months, a year?
Well,
how does it work?
Well, I think just the way conditions are individualized, meaning, somebody has pneumonia, but somebody else has a more severe case of pneumonia. It takes a little longer to correct. The same thing is true with the nutritional IVs. But what we like to do is actually serve them in a treatment plan of 10 treatments, which is generally done between 5 and 10 weeks. And that really allows us to then get some more blood work, see where a patient is, get the qualitative data back, which, by the way, in Europe is many times more important than the data that we just see in the laboratory. So what we want to do is look at all these things and say, okay, here's your treatment plan. When people come into me, I say, look, it's not holy water. I say this on the show. You don't just walk through the bath and come out a new person like they did in that Steven Spielberg movie. Right? So no, you can't do that. There is a period of time that we need to correct the metabolics. And that is just what it sounds like. Metabolics means your metabolics, the individual patient. So 10 treatments at a time is the right way to do this.
And also talk about, because you mentioned this to me one day, and we continued to talk about it off the air, is the reserve.
Oh, my goodness,
So
yeah.
people tend sometimes to stop.
Right,
And
because
then
they're
they'll
feeling great.
They'll come back in 6 months.
Well, let me
and
tell you,
what's the downside of that?
That's the downside of that is not only you lose your reserve, and then we're starting over again to build up that reserve and get you to the place you were. So it's much better to do a maintenance, even if it's once a month, once every other month, so that we can continue to monitor where you are from the quality of life issues. That's real important because I can change up the recipes accordingly. So, yeah. That's the bottom line, John.
So when people say, "Do I ever get better?" I'm in there because the reserve, right?
Right.
That's the
Well,
part.
and here's the thing, John. You are typical of most people our age. Okay.
Yes.
We don't just have one problem. We have a multitude of problems. The
Yes.
question is what I like to say is, look, what is it that you want to accomplish in your visits with me? What problem do we attack first? I can prioritize those. I know what I would do, but I want to hear also from you because sometimes people have a different viewpoint.
Right.
And I want to hear it. I respect my patient where they are.
So really, it's important that you keep maintaining that reserve. That's the issue here, right?
Absolutely. And you do that from both the IVs and what nutraceuticals we put you on at home.
And your nurse Barbara, who is an expert
my
at
God.
this.
And
How about that list she gave me? Did you see that list?
That list was really important because
Yes.
of the new changes.
Yes.
And we need to address those quickly.
And it was 2 pages. And it was a lot of things, and I've already gotten some of them.
Right.
And
We're just reiterating.
Exactly. So
Right.
so that's part of
What we do.
what you do.
But we don't sell it, as you know. We only sell a certain amount of product. And by the way, this week I got a nice, the father sons that came in. The father is a very sweet guy, but he says, "I know you're getting a markup on this," and Barbara was totally insulted.
Yeah.
Because guess what? We don't get a markup. What we pay for it is what we charge.
Right,
And then
exactly.
we tell you, order it yourself. But we wanted you to get started.
Yeah, right. We're coming up on our first break of the morning. Our show is Health Watch every Sunday, 8 till 9. Talk Radio 1210, WPHT. Dr. Molly Fantasia is here, the PhD doctor, the executive director, and the founder of Innovative Medical Associates, Marlton, New Jersey. You have a question for Dr. Molly, this is the time to call in. We always tell you call in early. And every week, the same thing happens. A couple of calls at the end of the show. 855-839-1210 is the number, 855-839-1210. With Dr. Molly Fantasia, I'm your host, John DeMasi. More of today's edition of Health Watch after these words. Operators are standing by right now at Innovative Medical Associates, as they are every week when we're here on the program. 856-489-0505. We give out that number because sometimes people say, well, I'm a little shy to come on the radio. Well, that's why you call the operators, and you can ask them any question you like. And if you want to sit down and make an appointment with Dr. Molly to go over your situation, that's what you do. The initial consultation is complimentary, and you call that number, 856-489-0505, 856-489-0505. It's Innovative Medical Associates, Marlton, New Jersey. And again, the website is innovativemedicalassociates.com. innovativemedicalassociates.com. Also check that out because there's a lot of good information on that, and it is constantly updated. So if you checked it last week, might be a little different this week. And also don't forget, if you missed any of our show this morning, and sometimes we know that you like to sleep in on Sunday morning.
Yes, people tell me
So
that.
we have our sleeper special, we call it. The show is replayed 4 till 5 every Sunday, 4 to 5, the Health Watch replay here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. You want to talk to Dr. Molly right now here on Health Watch? 855-839-1210 is the number, 855-839-1210. You always get some interesting calls, Dr. Molly, and this is a case that is about to be happening, but this is the preliminary here.
Yeah, this is an interesting case because, one of the things, our email and our website. So people email through the website, John, after they hear the show. And apparently this nice lady, and I'm just going to call her Gladys because that's her first name, she went on the website. She listened to us a few weeks ago, and I guess I was talking, and sometimes I don't remember, but I was talking about these calcium scoring CTs that are available for folks, which give them a good indication of how much plaquing or how much calcium buildup. And there are some things you have to know about this. When you read the calcium score, it picks up the calcium on the outside of the arteries as well as inside. So it's really rated by your age group, et cetera, and where you are. And, of course, really, you have to also take into consideration, and I know that the radiologists don't necessarily do this because all they're doing is reading the score, which is what we want for the information. We use it in our clinic. But we cut our teeth, on cardiac issues, on plaquing. And she heard me talk about chelation. And it's worthwhile to talk about that again. Chelation is the use of a man-made amino acid, EDTA. It's been around, I think since the 40s, 50s, I would say. First used in excise battery because they were removing lead. It is still FDA approved to remove lead. It is used in occupational settings all the time. But interestingly enough, they found that the EDTA will improve blood flow, head to toe, 12%. Now, you're going to say, and most of my patients say to me, where people come in for a consult, 12%, that's nothing. Oh, no. That's on your body surface. People forget, we're not stick people. We may think of ourselves as stick, just perpendicular, straight up. No. We have depth and we have a lot of arterial roadway in our body. So when you're looking at this and you get a 12% reduction of plaque, hard plaquing, guess what? That's a big number, and we improve blood flow. But we do things above and beyond what other physicians do. We then look at cardiac nutrition. What can we do to improve the cardiac output? And so we have a whole recipe. So when you're sitting in my chair, most people who come to me from other chelating places only get one bag when they're there. Well, you're going to probably get about 3 bags when you're sitting with me. And by the way, we use the fluid very, very judiciously because many times we have people who might have some congestive heart failure, so you can't fluid overload. So we're very fussy about how we do our chelation. And I'm going to get ready to chelate this nice lady. I hope she's going to come in for another consult, even though I spent a few minutes with her on the phone on Tuesday. And I'm hoping that she can start her IVs right there and then and get this plaquing under control for her.
I remember, because I didn't understand chelation.
Oh, I know.
when we first got started, and I remember asking your founding medical director.
He was something.
He was, and he said to me, "The claw of the crab."
That's right. It would
think of it that way.
It would claw out the calcium buildup. And the thing is, what's interesting is that was 20-some years ago. And, of course, reading data, looking at the European data, and then sort of putting our own spin on it, we've really improved chelation.
All right, let's go to the phones. We have John from Mount Laurel, New Jersey. John, good morning. You're on Health Watch with Dr. Molly.
Hi, John.
Good morning, Dr. Molly. I'm just calling in to back up what John was saying about does he ever get better. when I came to you, almost 2 years ago, and I've been there every week for.
Jeez, yes.
And the first couple of the treatments I did twice a week for 20 treatments. But what I'm saying is, I was out to breakfast the other day, and I was talking to 6 of us were there, and we were talking about the coronavirus and what have you. I believe sincerely that with all the vitamin C's, the B12s, the CoQ10s, I've gotten as high as 4 bags of fluids
That's right.
to make me better.
That's right.
I believe I'm immune to a lot of this stuff now. I really do.
Yeah.
Well, John, I love you. I don't want you to be cavalier, right? You know what I believe. Put your mask on when you're. Yeah, you got it.
You know I do that, Doc. You know how I am with that. Yeah,
you're the best.
But the point is, with all the treatments that I've had, my allergies are gone. I was getting shots for 5 years. I don't have them no more.
Yeah.
I don't have a cold anymore.
I believe it.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't had, thank God, I haven't had the flu at all.
Well, let's thank God. Yeah.
Nobody can tell me that this stuff don't work. It is the best.
Well, God bless you, John, and thank you for the testimonial because, we love you at our office and we would do anything for you. But
you guys are all great to every patient in there.
Thank you. We try,
really
John.
are.
We really do try. But you're
dear.
very special to us. God bless
John,
you.
thank you.
Thank you,
And thanks
John.
for
Stay
the
away,
words
Dr.
of
Massey.
Stay safe.
Thanks for the words of encouragement.
Yeah.
See, somebody
Thank you.
reinforced that I do get better.
Yeah, well, you do. You are better.
Right.
See, that's the thing. The thing is, don't talk about do you get better. You are better.
Right.
I mean, let's really talk about it. At our age, do you know how many people walk around at our age and I look at them and I say, that can't be. How many people 20 years younger than we are?
How about that?
Who walk around pretty badly beat up.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, from a health perspective.
I had a client a couple of weeks ago, very sadly. She was like we are, always in health food stores and always, and all of a sudden,
boom,
stage 4 colon cancer, and she didn't make it. Younger than me, and that's happened many times.
Many times. But the thing is, somebody like her, once she knew something was going on, or once, great, you go to the health food store. What portion of those vitamins and minerals do you really think you're getting over the course of a lifetime?
Not much, right?
Not much, boy. But when you come sit in my chair, I'll tell you what, you're getting the best dose of antioxidant that you can. You're getting the best material, too. Here's the other thing. We go in the health food store. Most of our patients think nothing of dropping several $100s in the health food store before they saw me. They would come in. They'd say, oh, well, I spent $700. Guess what? You might have spent $700 on junk.
Exactly.
You need advice. What makes you think that you don't need advice when you're following a natural supplement regimen the same way you need advice when you're taking pharmaceuticals?
Right.
Wake up, folks. You do.
You wouldn't go into the pharmacist and say,
pick me out.
Give me a couple of those, what's his name?
Beta
pills.
blockers.
Right.
Right.
Couldn't
No,
do it.
you need advice. And I will tell you, I love health food stores. You know I do. You know I don't sell ingestible product. The only things I stock are the things I would recommend should somebody need it in the moment. That's how you got to do things, John. You need advice. I need advice from you, don't I, on advertising?
Absolutely.
Okay, so the bottom line is the same thing is true where it concerns your nutraceuticals and what you're taking.
Speaking of advertising, you did have a call last week, which I took care of for you, but it's just, you have questions about advertising like I have questions of you about health.
Of course, of course.
We all have questions. The point that I was going to make is, you were talking about health food stores, and we like them, and we use them. And your nurse Barbara has sent me to a few health food stores.
Absolutely.
But the point is, when you go in and you don't know anything, and you ask the clerk who knows what they sell,
right,
but doesn't know what's good for what and what combinations and that kind of thing.
And they may have a little intense course on what it is, but it's not as intense as what we put out. So bottom line is, I love health food stores, but we have to use things judiciously.
And you're very modest, and you don't say this, but you have 2 PhDs, not one.
I do.
Okay.
I do.
So you have a little bit of credibility. Okay. I know you're very modest about that, but
thank
I have
you,
to.
John. But you know what? What I believe is that my proof is in my patients.
Right. That's right. All right, we're coming up on a break here. Health Watch is the show, Sundays 8 till 9, Talk Radio 1210, WPHT. Dr. Molly Fantasia is here and ready to talk to you at 855-839-1210. Remember, we're here every Sunday from 8 until 9, and we have our Health Watch replay this afternoon, 4 to 5. 855-839-1210 is the number here in the studio. With Dr. Molly Fantasia, I'm your host, John DeMasi. We return more of today's Health Watch after these words. Well, there's no gossip here. It's the real stuff here in Health Watch, that's for sure. Operator standing by right now at Innovative Medical Associates, 856-489-0505. I suggest you write that number down because you say to yourself, well, I'm going to eat breakfast. I'll call later on or I'll call tomorrow. Well, you can do that. But if you write the number down, you won't forget it. 856-489-0505, Innovative Medical Associates, Marlton, New Jersey. And the website, innovativemedicalassociates.com, innovativemedicalassociates.com. And sometimes if you miss a show, all of the shows are archived on the website. So you can go back and you want to hear a specific thing, you can do that as well. Innovativemedicalassociates.com is the website. And don't forget, we have our Health Watch replay this afternoon, 4 to 5, right here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Right now in the studio, the number 855-839-1210. Dr. Molly is here, ready to talk to you at 855-839-1210. And interesting, and you get a lot of consults during the week.
I do.
But this particular case, I know you wanted to talk about this.
Sure.
This sounds really serious.
It was very serious. A wonderful woman called me sometime last week, and she said sounded desperate, actually. She said her husband had a wound on his leg that looked infected to her, but he wouldn't go to the hospital. So I asked a few questions, and I said, well, let me have a time for him to come in late in the afternoon when there were no other patients there. And I did that on purpose because, again, I don't know these people, and I really didn't want them involved with my other patients who are coming in on a regular basis and the new patients I had just started who will be coming in on a regular basis. So I actually put them separately, and lovely Linda and I and my nurses, and they came in late in the afternoon, the father and son. So the minute he came in, I knew there was a problem. He hadn't even lifted his pant leg, and I knew based on the odor of coming out from his leg. When I looked at the wound, I knew this thing was grossly infected. How he got this, it's a twofold issue. How he got it was he spilled something that had DEEP in it on his leg, a lot of it. So obviously he was doing landscaping. So here we go. Environmental, right?
Yeah,
an environmental problem. But because he didn't treat it right away, it went into something terrible. And it was a deep wound, almost to the bone from what I could see. So I told his son who was with him, listen, he needs to go to the emergency right away. The problem was they didn't have health insurance. So here's this nice gentleman out there working for his family, felt he couldn't go to the ER because he didn't have health insurance, and he didn't want to have a bill that he might not be able to pay. And I proceeded to explain to them as an advocate that you can go there. There is an act in Congress that says they must treat and stabilize you.
Right.
And I told the son, you get him over there stat. That means as quick as possible. They left my office. I told them to go straight up Brick Road over to, I'm sure Virtue was not going to love me for that, but they were the closest hospital.
Yes.
And guess what? He went in there. Now, I haven't heard, but if his wife is listening today, I would really like to have an update on her husband, because that is a case that goes to what I always say. When you need conventional help, Dr. Molly's going to get you that conventional help. You need to go. When I tell you go to the hospital, you need to go.
And you've done that with some patients who have come in.
Many times. Right. Listen, John, I'm just not about throwing you in my chair and telling you this is holy water. I won't do that. I never want to be the guy who comes into my office and in a consult tells me his doctor's adequate. Well, guess what? Any of the health providers in my facility, and myself included, we better be much better than adequate.
And you have a network of some people that you use.
Absolutely. But in this case,
office,
he needed to get there right away. So I'm praying, and I actually added him to our prayer list, that he's doing okay, because this guy was in deep trouble. And the thing that upset me so is that here he is. He had this problem. He had a wonderful son with him. Obviously, he's cared for. His wife cares for him. It just was an unfortunate situation, and what can I say?
It goes to the fact that even if you don't have health insurance, I guess he didn't know that, but you told me that years ago that they have to treat you at the emergency
They have
room.
to stabilize you.
Yeah.
They don't have to keep you,
Right.
but they got to stabilize
right.
you.
So they have to take care of the problem.
Immediate problem.
Right, exactly.
And what I'm saying to everyone, please, when you need to go in the hospital, you got to go.
So he lets this thing go.
Correct.
I mean,
and it started with something that probably could have been taken care of early on by using some things like Silvadine or those kinds of things, which are old-time remedies, by the way.
Yeah.
Silvadine,
Yeah.
silver, everybody knows colloidal silver has some wonderful healing properties, okay? Wonderful. But it wasn't done. He just kept working because, again, he was worried about his family.
Yeah.
And who is it?
Right.
So you got to give it to him.
Does it say something about, and we've heard about the lawsuits with some of these products that are used, that people use. Does it say something about, being careful about what you use?
Absolutely. I talk. I'm a new member to the American Academy of Environmental Medicine. And the longer I'm in it, the more I see how environmental hazards in everything are affecting people's health. It's just unbelievable. And by that, I mean, you've got to use things wisely. Starting this virus is something I call an environmental issue, right?
Yeah.
And so I want to get out there, test people, and we are doing that. And you need to, really help in this. I mean, if you use chemicals and things, you really got to be careful, John.
It also says, I guess, that when you have a problem, take care of it.
Don't let it go.
Exactly.
You can't put your head in the ground, folks, no matter what your problem is. You can't do it.
855-839-1210 is our number here in the studio. Again, Health Watch. Every Sunday, 8 till 9 here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, 855-839-1210. We also have a patient, and I know you wanted to talk about this. She's been a patient, and now her mother is a patient.
Oh, yeah.
So talk about her mother.
I get a lot of families, okay? This is a great story. So we treat the younger person, the daughter, and we actually have the privilege of treating her mother as well. And her mother has had a series of mini strokes, so to speak. So I got a call from around 8 o'clock, 8:30 one day last week at night. And, the nice thing is that Fran now answers our phone 24/7, God bless her, or gets right back to the patient. So it's not an answering service that doesn't know our people. So anyway, I spoke to Donna, who's a nice gal. Her mom had a problem. Donna was very worried that she was having an active TIA or mini stroke at the time. So I said, well, get her in tomorrow morning and we will, see what's going on. So my wonderful nurse, Jess, was there. Jess, who is a flight nurse as well.
Yes.
So she's pretty familiar with triaging people, okay? Yeah. Make a long story short, she did what we consider a triage nursing exam, going through some of the neurology. I was right with her. We talked a little bit, and the woman was not in what would be considered a mini stroke right at this moment. But what was my job? My job was to sort of help her, get her situated, get some IV fluids into her because she was dehydrated, etc. She was dizzy, dehydrated, and we took care of her. But in the meantime, what did we do? We sort of put at ease that this moment, right now, we don't know that she's having a stroke. It didn't appear to be. But if she has these symptoms again, what did we tell her and encourage her to do? Go to the hospital. So again, and you know what? She took that from me more than she took it from her other doctor, from her doctors.
Right.
And why did she do that? I'll tell you why. Because you heard me say something called medical hexing, right? And someone said, what the heck is that, Dr. Mo? Well, there it is. The doctor had to tell her, with this condition, you probably will have a full-blown stroke. You probably will not speak again. You probably won't have this. You probably will be confined to a wheelchair. All of these things. Well, guess what? That's hexing you, right?
Yeah.
We know what hexing is in the real world, right? It's something I don't believe in. Listen, our job, in my mind, as healthcare providers, whoever we are, is to give patients hope. Not to be cavalier about the hope. We have to be smart about it. But my goodness, if every cancer patient I have in the chair that I have right now was told to go home and die, right? When they were told to go home and die.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have anybody in the chair, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Well, guess what? We supply hope. We supply hope with utilizing protocols that can help them with their quality of life. And this patient is a good example. She got a drip. She felt good. I let her leave with a homeopathic for dizziness, but I also cautioned her very well, but in a safe way. So I'm hoping she's listening to me. Donna will let me know, is her daughter.
It's interesting because the doctor tells her that. I mean, did he have a crystal ball? I mean,
nobody has the only guy that has the crystal ball
is the guy upstairs,
guy
right?
upstairs.
Yeah.
And what I know for sure is, again, I'm going to say it. I've seen people who do nothing but alternative. They're not with me. I've seen people who did nothing but conventional, Western, whatever you want to call it, medicine. They're not with me. I've seen people who do both who are still with me.
Right. And you've always said that if you need it and if it's warranted, do it.
Right. And you know what? Here's the other thing I've seen. No one lives forever. That's a given.
Right.
None of us live forever. But how we live until it's time for us to be reunited with the Lord is in our hands. And that's where clinics like what we do come into play.
All right, we're coming up on our final break of the morning. You still have time to jump in here with a question. 855-839-1210 is the number here in the studio, 855-839-1210. Health Watch is the show, Sundays 8 till 9, Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Dr. Molly Fantasia is here, the PhD doctor and the executive director and the founder of Innovative Medical Associates, Marlton, New Jersey. And I'm your host, John DeMasi. We're coming back. More of today's edition of Health Watch after these words. We are back here on Health Watch. Operator standing by right now at Innovative Medical Associates, and they will be there after we leave you at 9 o'clock. What do you think? They take Sundays off? No. We're here, they're here. All right? 856-489-0505 is the number. Innovative Medical Associates, Marlton, New Jersey, 856-489-0505. Write it down. You never know. You want to just call, you pick up the phone and give them a call. 856-489-0505. The website, innovativemedicalassociates.com. Innovativemedicalassociates.com is the website. And don't forget, miss any of today's show, you can catch it again this afternoon, 4 till 5, our Health Watch replay every Sunday, 4 till 5, here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Health Watch is the show every Sunday, our live version, 8 till 9. Dr. Molly Fantasia is here. We're going to the phones. We're going to talk to Tony in Port Richmond. Tony, good morning. You're on Health Watch with Dr. Molly.
Good morning, Tony.
Good morning, Dr. Molly. I've been listening to you in the morning for a couple of weeks now. And I have a few questions, general questions, and then a specific question. I'm a 70-year-old man, and I am one of those, the latter group of people that believe in standard medicine and holistic.
Good for you, Tony. Good for you. Good for you. Because we're contemporaries, and that's a big step to believe in both. God bless you.
None of us is as smart as all of us.
That's right.
Now, my initial questions are, one, this chelation, does that involve a long period of time? And let me just give them to you. They're kind of related. Two, sure. Is this covered by Medicare, any of these procedures?
Yeah.
And three, I have had my arthritis, my knees going up and down stairs is almost torture, shoulder, wrist. And I just have this general feeling that something isn't right, nothing specific. I've been taking opioids for pain, but I'm a poster person. Sometimes I may not take them one day, and other days I will. But there's got to be some other solution.
Yeah.
I don't see this thing improving at all.
Tony, you're talking about your knee situation, the arthritis situation, correct? In terms of the improvement.
Knees, elbows, shoulders, knees.
Listen, I would love you to come over and just chat with us. You know, I wish I could tell you that Medicare paid for these treatments. They do not. But I'll certainly have the financial gal go over this with you. But it isn't as expensive. It's as expensive as having a good meal out. So listen to me though. Have you tried CBD oil? CBD in and of itself.
Yes, I have. I've tried many different things.
Good. It could be you're not taking enough of it. I want to talk to you a little more about that because you need some other things with the CBD. Have you tried some of the anti-inflammatories like curcumin and things like that?
Oh, yeah, curcumin, turmeric. I tried that.
Good. All right. Listen to me. I think you're on the right track here. What's happening is you're probably not getting an appropriate dose. Please come in and talk to me. I think I can help you, and pretty quickly, probably within 10 weeks. Now, the balance of this, utilizing some of the products that you already have, bring them all into us, okay? And let's talk and see where you're at. But again, Medicare does not pay for the hydration.
Okay, Tony?
Thank you, Tony.
Thank you for the call. We appreciate it, okay?
Thank you.
Thanks for the call.
Thank you. Bye, bless you. God bless him.
Another complicated problem.
Complicated, but not insurmountable.
Right. Because I know you've handled similar situations like that.
Yeah, and again, I would probably be in a combination program.
Okay. Let's talk about what you cut your teeth on. Cardiac issues.
Yeah, the cardiac issues. Of course, it's an interesting thing because in 24 years, I see full circle. We see a lot of cancer patients, cancer supportive patients. You know that. But I'm also seeing a fair share of cardiac patients. And it's interesting because when we do chelation, we're not just removing the plaque. As I said earlier, I want to improve cardiac function. So we may look at certain particular amino acids and certain vitamins that are really necessary for the mitochondria of the heart to improve the heart function. So again, when you heard John, my earlier caller, talk about CoQ10, very, very important because a lot of my cardiac patients come in and they're on lipids. And yes, all their doctors now tell them, oh, you got to take CoQ10. Well, guess what? They're not taking enough to counterbalance the statin. So there are lots of issues with these folks, not just quote unquote the plaquing. We've got to look at the lipids and what's causing the hyperlipidemia. Some of us have a genetic propensity, especially if we're Italian. Okay. We have the genetic propensity for high lipids. The question is the ratio between the bad cholesterol, the good cholesterol, and the particle size, which I don't want to get into. We don't have enough time. But there are ways to hold all of that under control and then actually use some other amino acids to get out some of the hard plaquing, EDTA being one of them, phosphatidylcholine in a particular mixture being something else. And by the way, the phosphatidylcholine, the way it was used in actually Germany initially, and it was doing very, very well there because they don't just rush into bypasses or stenting. More importantly, they don't use the stenting because they found, the European data found that the stents clogged up too quickly. So what was the point? It was like, they have socialized medicine. They don't want to pay again for another stenting. Here in this country, we love to stent up to 5 times, I believe, right? Yeah. It's sort of crazy because if they start clogging up, then really you're not really solving the issue.
Back to what we were talking about earlier, the health food stores and the
there
products. I what I'm hearing, and tell me if I'm wrong, that those particular things, and the gentleman was just talking about it, they can be used as supplements, but they're not the be-all, end-all. Is that correct?
I would say that is true, but sometimes they can just do the job. But you got to be given in an appropriate amount. You got to get the constituent. Here's the deal. I'm a scientist, right?
Right.
When I look at things that are out there, I'm not just looking at the name of the nutraceutical. I'm looking at what is the constituent in that nutraceutical that actually reduces the lipids. And that's the thing you want to get enough of to get it done. And I have found in 24 years that we can take CoQ10 till we're blue in the face. It's not an appropriate dose. You have to go up on the CoQ10.
Same you've talked about vitamin C.
Exactly. The same I talk about red yeast rice, everything. You've got to use an appropriate amount in order to effectuate the change. How do you do that? You need advice. And yes, you use the orals. If you're in our program, we give you what we believe is a good dose for you. We don't want to put you at risk, but we want to give you a good dose. And then we supplement with supplements, which is why they're called supplements.
That's right. That's right.
So there you are, John.
Okay, so that's a good point to end the show, because we're out of time.
Okay.
That's going to put the wraps on another edition of Health Watch. Don't forget, operators standing by, and they'll be there well after we leave you at 9 o'clock at 856-489-0505. You want to set up an appointment to sit down with Dr. Molly, that's what you do. 856-489-0505 is the number. Innovative Medical Associates, Marlton, New Jersey. The website, innovativemedicalassociates.com. Don't forget that we are the Health Watch replay is on this afternoon from 4 until 5. For Dr. Molly Fantasia and everyone at Innovative Medical Associates, the lovely Linda. And we have Barbara, we have delightful Dee, fabulous Franny, and we have our nurses, Jess and Crystal, and of course, our medical assistant, Kathy. I'm your host, John DeMasi. Thanks again for listening. Have yourself a safe and a healthy week. Do it all over again next Sunday, 8 till 9. Health Watch, Talk Radio 1210, WPHT. You take care.